Scorpio, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for you. And there's no date on this reading, so I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. And so Scorpio, this is a healing channel, and what I've done is I've been able to use my own parts therapy that I've been using for the past 8.5 years in my own intensive healing journey to heal my shadow. And I've been able to apply a lot of the parts therapy to my tarot cards, in particular my court cards, and you'll see a few other ones throughout the deck that I've applied it to. So you'll hear me say things like, you know, there's a part of you, there's a part of you, and they're parts that we all are going to be familiar with when I talk about them, but you're not necessarily going to identify as having that part. But they're all in us, and I've just become more aware of my own parts with my own therapy. So we're going to get started with your reading today, and we're going to be start off with the Heal Yourself Healing cards by Ina Segal, which I love, in particular because this is a healing channel. So we're going to start off by using, I'm going to use my pendulum, and I'm going to ask my pendulum to select a card for you that is really a theme for what needs to be healed. So once we get that theme, I'm going to take the tarot, and I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss, and I will clarify that with the Radiant Rider Waite deck. And then I'm going to ask the tarot for what situation or issue you're dealing with right now in regards to this theme. All right, it could be a problem, it could be a pattern that's coming up for you, but it's something related to this theme. And then I'm going to ask what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing. And so if you're not familiar with the word shadow or shadow work, I'm going to leave a video with you at the end of this. And it's called How to Face Your Shadow, and it's a video I've done I think a couple years ago, maybe, yeah. And it really is a compilation of everything I know about facing your shadow, and I really give you a lot of direction in there and some videos that you can look at that I've made on my other channel called Carol Cares for, you know, help starting to go in that direction of healing your shadow. And so, you know, your shadow is what has the most impact on the situation that's coming up right now for you in your life, and it's going to be something that is related to what needs to be healed. And so once we identify that and look at how those two are related, the issue you're dealing with and the shadow part that's coming up for healing, I'm going to ask the tarot for some guidance. And that guidance is going to be, you know, how can you start to heal this? Because this is a process for you. And, you know, I'm not going to give you some magic pill in this reading, but I'll definitely set you off on a path that kind of says, you know, this is what you need to focus on. And you'll find some information definitely in the video that I'll suggest for you at the end. And then, yeah. That's what I think I wanted to say. So let's begin Scorpio, with asking my pendulum. I want it to identify what theme is Scorpio dealing with right now as they come to this video that they found in their feed. So it's thinking. You'll see that it'll start to spin. Yeah, okay. Sometimes it can even stop and go in a different direction if it wants to, which may be what it's doing. I think it's kind of feeling its way here. All right, it's going in the other direction. I said that and it happened. All right, this is better. Okay, I see it's going towards my right, really pushing that way, which is your left. And I'm going to select this card right here for you. Okay. So, let's read this card and read what Ina says about it, because I love what she says. And, you know, I don't want to put it in my words. I like to use her words. This is her deck. And so she's created this card for us. This is a theme. This is the third time it's come up. I've done these. I have 3 more readings to go. This is my third last reading I'm on right now. And this is the third time that this has come up for my readings. So you have card number 5. It's called Sadness. It's easy to swallow your sadness and hide behind a fake smile. Yet sadness can open the door to your heart and help you access compassion. When you can truly allow yourself to cry and feel sorrow over the loss of a loved one, a lost opportunity, a broken heart, or a friendship that's ended, you cleanse your soul and allow your heart to heal. Crying and feeling vulnerable can be a sign of strength, which demonstrates your connection to your body. To admit weakness can allow you to know yourself, embrace your limitations, and evolve. Be willing to let go of the cold walls of protection you have created, which make you feel empty and sick. You don't need to get lost in your emotions. Just give yourself time to feel them and let them move through your whole being, cleansing and purifying your heart, your body, and your soul. So we're going to look at where you're holding on to feelings of loss, of grief, and sadness. And so maybe the opening situation, when I pull out my cards and ask what situation you're dealing with, maybe there's some loss there that has to do with lost opportunity. And that can come up when we're younger. Sometimes we weren't allowed to do what we wanted to do when we were younger. So we kind of were set off on a different path. Loss of a loved one. And, that loss of a loved one can be somebody that we're grieving right now that could have passed or could be still alive, but you realize that you need to let them go, or you've let them go already. A broken heart or a friendship. So maybe there's a friendship that's ending for you. Maybe there's been some sort of a rejection on your part from someone else, and so we're gonna look at what's going on with you with that. So let's start off with the Tarot of the Abyss, and I'm gonna ask the Tarot right now to give me what situation or issues Scorpio is dealing with in regards to sadness. Where are they holding on to this grief, loss, sadness? What is the situation? What is the card that needs to come up? And I think I flipped one. Yes, I did. You have a Temperance card as the card. Here's your main card. Interesting card to start off with. Yeah. Okay. What's coming up from your shadow that needs healing? Well, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse came up right away. And what guidance does the Tarot have for you? What guidance does the Tarot have for you? And this one wanted to come in the 4 of Swords. And that kind of wanted to come in sideways. It was showing itself as wanting to come in sideways. So let's ask the Tarot here for, can you give me some clarification for this Temperance card? Tell me more about Temperance. A couple cards for Temperance. You have the Magician in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles. 6 of Wands. Tell me more about this 6 of Wands. I like how one's popping up there and one's sort of falling out. The Fool and the 8 of Pentacles comes in here as, wow, as some loss here. Wow, definitely I'm seeing here what's going on for you. Okay, the 4 of Swords. Some more about this 4 of Swords in a sideways position. couple cards. There's one. And one more to go with that card. Ooh, we wanted two. Okay, so you have, as clarifiers for your Four of Swords, you have the Chariot, the Three of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. That's for your guidance from the tarot. Right, let's begin. Let's start off with what situation you're dealing with, Scorpio, right now. What issue? Well, you start off with the Temperance card. And, yeah, beautiful Temperance card. Beautiful Temperance card. Now, I'd like to look at the depiction of it in this particular card, because you have two cups, and cups is all about our emotions. And, you know, this reading's about emotions. It's about sadness. It's about loss. It's about grief. And you notice how this individual, they put this head above these two emotions. It's almost like they're just smelling. They're just kind of feeling what's coming up for them right now from these two cups. If you can notice it, right? It almost looks like they're smelling. They're just taking these emotions in, right? It's not like they've taken the whole cup and drank each one of it. It's just like, let's just feel what's coming up here right now. And that's what the Temperance card is all about. It's all about, you know, dipping your toe. I can think of the Rider-Waite card, where it has an angel with a cup in it, and it's kind of spilling it. And it's not spilling the entire cup, right? It's about dipping your toe. Dipping your toe. The Temperance card talks about like a middle ground, talks about something, you know, a little bit at a time. And I'm seeing here that there's this real message that's coming out for you right now, where I think you're starting to feel these emotions. They're stirring, they're coming up for you around. There's this sadness, and you're trying to figure out, you know, what is this? And sometimes when there is sadness in us, it means there's some grief. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've spent the last couple of days just kind of lying around, sitting around, feeling this incredible emptiness inside. It's like I have this empty space, and it's like, what is this for me? And I was meant to come to that, this real empty space, being alone by myself and trying to figure out, you know, what is this? What is this deep, deep sadness that's sitting here, that's starting to float up, right? And that's what's going on with you right now, where you're feeling it coming up for sure. And the thing is about this journey, and this next card talks to me about it with the Magician in reverse. I think the one thing that we don't know, or we don't want to accept, or we don't want to face, is that you have everything in you to be able to feel this. And the Magician card reminds us of how we can be this magic manifester. We can be something. We can be that one person for ourselves. We didn't maybe have it when we were younger. Maybe we don't have it around us right now, but we're able to be that one person for ourselves that is going to allow this emotion of sadness, of loneliness, of grief to come through, right? There's no one in the world, there's not one single person in the world that can do it for us but ourselves. And so the Magician card comes in to remind you that, you know what, only you can do this for yourself. And he's in reverse because I think there's a big resistance on your part, and there is a huge resistance on our part to feel grief. If there's any emotion that our mind, our ego self does not want to get to, it's sadness, it's grief. And that is the one emotion that we all kind of want to get to, because that's the one that kind of finally cleanses everything, right? Opens up our heart again, if you want, if you're sitting with something to do with your relationships, right? Where you just, and people all, you know, can say that they're grieving for years and years about something they've lost, or someone they've lost, or something's been lost, because they need to get to that real deep loss. And that's what's going to be sitting in your shadow, and we're going to look at that. And so the Ace of Pentacles comes in as a final card here, what situation you're dealing with. And the universe is really saying, here's an Ace of Pentacles for you, Scorpio. I think it realizes that, you've got this sadness that's coming up. And it's really funny how I do have to talk about something again because I've just moved through this. But I'm reading a book right now, and it's actually sort of a little bit of a biography of a saint, and I've been asked, I was called to read it, like it was something intuitive that I purchased, and as I'm reading it, even yesterday, I'm like, why are you reading this, Carol? Like, what are you reading this for? Like, you really need to read this, and that's your mind telling me. But today, there was a little chapter that came up yesterday, and I had to put the book down. It was like, I don't want to go here. And I'm like, well, I just didn't question it at the time. I was done reading for the day. Picked it up this morning, and I tried to read it again, and it was just like, I couldn't. It started bringing up some tears for me. There was something in there that was one line that went, oh my God. So it's funny how I'm starting to realize why I purchased this book, because I'm starting to heal through it, right? There was some sadness and some real deep grief that I had been holding on to in regards to my own family that I've gone no contact with, right? So it was kind of around that issue of, just because you've walked away from someone does not mean you've closed off your heart. In fact, a lot of times it's more, if you've put yourself first and you have shown yourself love in doing that, that's going to open up something bigger for you. And so I had to get to that last bit of grief, I think. And maybe I'm telling you this because maybe this is where you're going, Scorpio, where this Ace of Pentacles comes in, because the pentacle represents your body, and it says the universe wants you to take this card, this pentacle, and remind you that it's time for you to get into your body, ground into your body. And the video I'll leave you at the end is going to teach you how to ground into your body. Well, it'll lead you to another video on grounding. And that's how I did it. Like, I've been really grounding myself lately because I knew that there's been some real emotions that are coming up for me. Paid attention to my breath, paid attention to my feet, wiggled my toes, figured out, okay, where am I right now? Am I present? Because you have to get back in your body so that you can feel this sadness that's coming into your system, that's in your system, but it's coming up, right? Here it is right here, coming up for you to feel. And so what is it that's coming up from your shadow that's coming up for healing, right? So here I was reading this book, and there wasn't a part of me, I know which part it was, my ego, my controller I call it, that's saying, don't read this book, this is a stupid book for you to read. Well, because it's here for me to, it's going to start to bring up some emotions for me that I have really, maybe I've been there before, and I have been to this place of sadness many times, and maybe you have as well. And it's like, I thought I was done with this. And that's exactly what I said to myself this morning was, I thought I was done with this. I've been here before, but we go through emotions like a spiral, right? We can deal with loneliness on one level, or sadness. Then another something else comes on. Oh, here it's come around again. Oh, and here it's come around. And so it can come around until you finally get to, where you need to go to. And so what is it? What's coming up from your shadow that is actually driving or having the biggest impact on this situation for you? There's something that you need to get to. As I said, you spiral, right? You go deeper and deeper until you finally get to that final thing. That what is it here that's wanting to be healed? And so you start off with the Six of Wands, and this is in an upright position, because this is in reverse, but you have this ballerina who's just finished, I forget what that's called when she does her, or who it is that does the main dance, right? And so she's finishing here, she's feeling all this clapping, and very victorious, very beautiful. I mean, she's been practicing for so long, right, with this dance, and she's finally done it. But there's something here. There's something here that you don't see, that she doesn't see, that the audience doesn't see. They don't see the pain that she's gone through. They don't see her, take off her ballerina slippers, and they don't see her feet. They don't see her toes that are, bloody and full of scabs, maybe, because, and that's often you see runners with that as well, because they've just put so much into what they're doing. They're passionate about this. But there's another side to this victory that people don't see, and that's the effort and the pain that has gone into this final performance of hers. And so my sixes in my deck have this duality to them, where on one side you're seeing victory, and readers will often say that this is a victory card. But there's this duality to them, and so we need to really look what's hidden behind everything, and that's the grief, right? And so in reverse here for you, because you have buried deep in your shadow some grief that's coming up. Whatever the situation is right now in your life, where you're feeling this sadness, and I mentioned a few situations at the beginning, but there's some sadness and some grief around something that's happening in your life right now that's actually being triggered by something that needs healing. And so here's the grief that's sitting here right in your shadow. And so let's see what's clarifying that. Well, underneath you have the Fool card. Here's the Fool card. The Fool card, when the Fool card comes in the deck, and it doesn't come often, it's a card of childhood innocence. It's a card of feeling free in your body. It's a card of feeling like you can jump off that cliff and you're not going to be afraid, because the universe is going to have your back. That pure childhood innocence and not being afraid. Well, guess what? That's in your shadow. So that part of you was put away, was taken away, because behind it comes the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles talks about this individual has this passion of working. He's been working at this, chipping away at these pentacles for a long time. But this Eight of Pentacles talks about someone that's, usually it's a card that's someone in their workplace that's very passionate about what they're doing, right? And so I'm going to say that there was this real great heartbreak when you were younger, where there was something that you wanted to do, that you were passionate about, very passionate, and that was taken away from you. You weren't allowed to do it. It was like, no, you can't do this. And I know I said in my reading that it could be about a great loss around something, a project or something you wanted to do. So I'm wondering if this loss right here is around that, and it's coming up for you right now. There's some loss that's been, triggered by, what did you lose? What was it that you were so passionate about when you were younger that you wanted to do? Oftentimes we don't know what it is, or we've forgotten, because we forget about something that was very painful for us. If there was something that you were very passionate about when you were younger, and you might have even showed signs of doing it, or maybe you asked to do it and you were told no, or something was taken away from you, some gift that you had, some beautiful gift that was maybe handed down to you in your lineage, and something that you were able to do, something that you wanted to do, and it was taken away from you for some reason. That was very traumatic to you. And so there's a lot of grief and sadness around what could have been for you, right? If only this wasn't taken away from me, or if only I wasn't told no, I would have been on a different path right now. And that is sort of our journey in life, isn't it? Where we knew we were supposed to go in this journey, because this way, this path, because we know when we come to this earth that we're meant to do something. And yet we are taking on a different path, right? And so I'm wondering if that's what's happening with you, where you're realizing, you know what? That's what I wanted to do when I was younger. That's what I was supposed to do when I was younger. Well, there's some real grief around that. Real healing that needs to take place. And then you get to go on that same path again. That's the beauty of it, right? So what does the tarot have? What guidance does it have for you? You have the Four of Wands right here, and it's sideways. Four of Wands talks about an individual. You know, look how these swords have been put down right here, right? They're not in use right now. They've put down their swords, and it's time to rest. It's time to rest now. It's time for you to take this Ace of Pentacles that was offered for you in the beginning and get back in your body. Take some time out for you. Carve time out for you. This is what the Four of Swords talks about. It's time for you to get rest. It's sideways here because I think you've been for too long now forgetting you. You know, maybe you're that type that's been putting yourself out, maybe a people pleaser, or just kind of giving yourself, giving, serving other people. But it's time now. It's like, no, I'm done now. It's time for me. And that's where the true self-love comes in. For those of you that are sitting there going, I can't do this, I'm not allowed to, I can't. I mean, that in itself, there's some real healing needs to be done around that. Because when we can't put ourselves first, then we were put first when we were younger. And so it's time now that you carve out time for yourself. The Chariot card comes right underneath. You have three clarifiers that came, right away. It's like these three cards need to come out. The Chariot card is number 7 in the major arcana. So it's a card. I like the number 7 is a real card of introspection, right? Going inwards. Number 7 talks about this Chariot. Look at him for a minute. Like, look at the amount of stone that's around him, right? He's almost turned to stone himself. He has 2 sphinxes there that have a mind of their own. There's no reins at all. They're kind of like these sphinxes that are, you know, they're not even listening, right? And they've turned to stone. It's been so long. And I feel like this is your situation where you have been trying to control this situation for so long, right? And I think maybe you're hitting a stone wall. And the Chariot card says, you know, you've been controlling this for so long now with your mind. We can't control this grief with our mind. We have to go into our body and feel it, right? You've been trying to push this down for so long, but now you're being called to, let's take some time out here for yourself, because you're going to go inwards. You need to go inwards, and you're going to feel this sadness. 3 of Pentacles comes out next, and it says, you know, the number 3 is a co-creative card. It talks about working with someone else, these 3 individuals that are putting their heads together and working. I mean, 3 heads are better than 1. That's the expression that came here. And the 3 of Pentacles to me talks about, you know, because it's a healing channel, I always look at the 3 of Pentacles card when it comes up as my card of therapy. Now, if whatever came to you when I said that, I want you to think about that. Like, when I say therapy, what came to you was that I have no money for that. I've been there. I've done that before. I'm not frickin' going there, or, you know, I'm done healing. I don't want, and so what came to your head, because that's your mind or your ego self kind of going, no, we're not going to that emotion. This card comes out and says, you know, I'm going to explain what I mean by therapy, because there are many different healing modalities out there for therapy. I myself, when I first met I've been going through in and out of therapy all my life, and I couldn't find the right therapist at all. No one understood me. And 8.5 years ago, I found my life coach, and I found her online when I was, you know, going through my phone. This woman has been able to be the one person that could stand by me no matter what. And besides that, I also had a lot of energy work done, like a lot of energy work done. Every second week I was getting a hit of energy work but I had someone that I could take it to, right? I had my therapist that I could take what was happening to me in the energy work. And so there's so much out there that you can explore to help you get back in your body. So I myself am a shamanic practitioner, and I've just been learning how to do that. And so you can maybe look into shamanism and getting some healings from shamanic practitioners. And it hasn't come up on my website yet. You're the first person that I've said that to, actually, that I'm a shamanic practitioner now. So, but yeah, maybe it's time for you to get some healing from some people around this situation. You know, maybe if you're having trouble getting to this grief. Page of Wands comes up as a last card for you. And the pages in my deck are what I call my inner children. And I know, because I've been on this journey so long, that we have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology says we just have one, but our inner children hold our memories. They hold our emotions, the big emotions that we couldn't handle when we were younger, right? This grief, this sadness, you couldn't handle it as a child. And so our inner children hold these, and they're in our body. They're not up here in our head. And it's time for them to heal. So you have a little inner child that it's time to heal. And no surprise that the inner child that came out for you is the one with the wand. The wand talks about our creative purpose. It talks about that direction we're meant to go in next. It can be something very small, right? And so I think there's something here for you. Once you start to get back into your body, get some help to feel that pain of your younger self that lost their purpose, you know, and you're going to heal this little part of you that holds your purpose. Because when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, this is the little part of you that knew who you were meant to be, Scorpio. But unfortunately, it went in a different direction. And so this little part of you needs to heal. It's like it's pulling on your pant leg, Scorpio, and saying, listen, I need you to listen to me. I know what it is. I know what it is you're meant to do, because that's what I meant. That's what I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to do. And so you're going to be healing that part of you. So I do a lot of journaling when I talk to my inner children. And in the video that I'm leaving you at the end, there's some direction for you to go if you want to start to journal to your inner children, right? So, Scorpio, it's been a beautiful reading for you. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This healing journey is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.